Welcome to our Heritage Program for the month of October. We're so proud that you tuned in to see what we were having at the museum and the Historical Society. Today, our first guest is Mr. Wade Huffman. He's the manager at General Coffee State Park. Welcome to our program.
Oh, thank you for having me this afternoon.
Well, we're so excited. Let's start off talking about the Heritage Farm.
Okay. As you know, we have dozens of state park facilities in Georgia. All of them have something unique, distinguishes them from the others. With General Coffee, that is our Heritage Farm, what is basically a collection of buildings that were moved from elsewhere to give representation of what a farm would have been like at the turn of the 20th century. So you're looking at 1900 or so. Some of those facilities include the Meeks Cabin,
Yes.
which is thought to be, to us, the oldest building in Coffee County.
I think so too.
About circa 1820s, was moved to the site when the park was initiated in 1971. We also have the Kirkland Tobacco Barn, was moved a little bit later than that from the Kirkland family, but is also a very old building. And then lastly, the Relihan Museum was actually a hunting cabin out on the Satilla River from about the 1940s. Then it was moved over to the park in the early 80s.
This is a wonderful place to be. We've been out there several times.
It is, to give you a look into farm life in the 1900s. A lot of school kids out there, a lot of education to let us interpret how farm life would have been. So we have all kind of interactive displays. We have a syrup kettle out there, a blacksmith shop. Going to do some turpentine demonstrations a little bit later on when it cools off. But a very, very unique place in state parks, and to let a lot of people that would never be exposed to that see how life would have been like back before electricity, when you had to go out every day. And we of course had the farm animals. Well, they would have either done work for you, provided a source of food, or whatever, and that was your life all day, every day on that farm. So it's fun for us too.
I love it. I like it better in the fall and the spring than I do in the summer. I'll admit that now.
Definitely. It's about to be the right time of year to come.
Yes. You've got some upcoming events at the park, I understand.
We do, really, because as you mentioned, the weather is getting a little bit more desirable to be outside. For the fall, our next upcoming event is our Moonlight Madness event.
Oh, yeah.
Which is our big one. Right there the week prior to Halloween, we have a haunted house that's going to run Friday and Saturday this year. That will be the 23rd and 24th. The park, we're going to do a haunted trail in that same area. That's going to be on that Saturday the 24th. Prior to that day, for the younger kids that don't want to be so scared, because our haunted house, we get into it. We're going to have a kids carnival with your typical games like a Dunkin' booth and some the Go Fish game and those different kinds of games where they can get candy. Of course, it's almost Halloween. So the cost for that event's anywhere from $1 to $7, depending on what you participate in.
Right.
We'll have a hayride. We'll be doing some ghost stories. The haunted house and the haunted trail that day, and the kids carnival. And it's a lot of fun. Coming up directly after that on Halloween, the night of Halloween, we're going to show a movie. We're going to show Hotel Transylvania in the ball field. Probably going to have popcorn. Other concessions there is free. Just your $5 park pass for your vehicle. We're going to let it be family themed. Bring the kids out. We probably have some more candy for them, and that's our October events. November we have our Pioneer Harvest Festival.
I love that.
We really get the farm going. We're going to open up the smokehouse, the blacksmith shop, the cane kettle. We're going to get a batch of cane syrup made. Do some turpentine displays, candle making, soap making, all those activities. We're going to have some folks dressed in period dress, telling stories on the porch of the Meeks Cabin. That's a good one too.
I love that.
That
It's
really
always
lets the
fun every
farm
year.
come alive. Then, lastly, for 2015, we have Christmas on the Pond. I believe it'll be December 12th. We're going to put up probably 4,000 or 5,000 Christmas lights, different themes. Santa's going to be out there. We bake about 130 dozen homemade cookies. So we're doing the Christmas thing.
Right.
Again, that's a free event, just your park pass. We ask for donations. But really to let those families come out there in a safe environment, enjoy the Christmas theme, enjoy Santa,
Have a fun
and
time.
all that. So then that's our next events for to close out 2015.
Well, speaking of the park pass, annual park passes are still available.
They are. You can to help with, instead of paying that $5 every time, an annual park pass is $50. So 10 trips to the park or any state park, you paid for it. There are discounts for anybody over 65. We also have what we call our Friends of State Parks membership. That includes your annual pass plus some other benefits like a free night of camping or a free round of golf, 10% off your lodging. We have cottages out there, camping and all that. You get some discounts on the Sam Short Line train over in Cordele and several other amenities. That one starts out with individual membership at $55. So it's just for $5 more you get
all the other
all
stuff.
those goodies, So
That's a bargain.
that's a good thing. And 20% of those sales come back to our Friends of General Coffee group, which is directly going to benefit the park, which we're also trying to grow that group, the Friends group. Right now we consist of about 4 officers, but not a lot of other membership. I need about 20 other people to do what I need to do. So,
Well, I know the Girl Scouts, when my granddaughter was in Girl Scouts, they did a lot of work out there. What do they have to do to be a volunteer in essence?
if you're going to volunteer just sparingly during the year, you just come out there and sign up with us. It's $5 for a $5 fee for insurance to cover if something may happen.
Right.
Otherwise, if you're going to be a longer term volunteer, you pay a $15 yearly fee. You get a background. You have to get a background check, and then you can volunteer for anything. Again, those volunteer hours, for every volunteer hour that's put in, if you're saying you're doing it for the Friends of General Coffee, $2 an hour, straight back to the group. So
That's good.
and we like it because we got a lot. I have about 45 projects on my winter project list.
And you need the
I need
volunteers.
volunteers.
I am so glad you came to be with us today, and I encourage everybody, if you have not taken your family to General Coffee State Park, you need to go. Whether you just feed the ducks or look at the pigs, whatever, please go and take part in General Coffee State Park and all their upcoming events. Thank you again, Mr.
Thank you, and it's great to have a state park in your backyard. So I love seeing my local folks. So come see me.
Okay. Welcome back. We are here today with Dr. Jim Cottingham, and we're going to talk about the Broxton Rocks. And I will say this right up front. My granddaddy used to tell about coming from Telfair County, and he would ride horse, come through Broxton, Bridge, and all that area, and he said you could hear the horse hoofs and they'd echo when you rode over that area. And I never knew that. I just knew we used to have picnics and parties up there, but I just thought that was unique. Tell me a little bit about old Broxton Rocks.
Well, the old Broxton Rocks, they've been there for countless millennia. It's an ancient geological formation. And we know by accounts like Ward's History of Coffee County, 1930, that people were frequenting the rocks from the very beginning, that the settlers came through here. Indians had a name for it, so it's just a special place. And here's a section from Ward's History of Coffee County. He's talking about different places in Coffee County, and he says, speaking of Rocky Creek, which was practically the dividing line of two sections of the river road, one is charmed with wild beauty of this stream, for it's one of ruggedness and mystery. Now, W.P. Ward continues, the Picnic Rocks. Its ruggedness begins with the great gray boulders of Picnic Rocks, known in former times as Falling Waters. For there was quite a waterfall at this spot, which was near the home of Major McNeil, one of the pioneer naval store operators from Robeson County, North Carolina, who gave this property its name. From there on to the Ocmulgee River, there were two great cliffs. Now, these were what your grandfather would say he would hear echoing on horse. I never thought about that, Carol. But two great cliffs lining each side of a wooded stretch through which the stream flowed. Great gray boulders with crevices in them, and others poised perilously on top of each other, just as though there had been a great upheaval there in days gone by. So W.P. Ward called them the Picnic Rocks. And I grew up just hearing them referred to as the Rocks. Meet you out at the Rocks. And in more recent times, the reference, the Broxton Rocks, sort of sets us apart from anybody else. But it's a large conservation preserve in northern Coffee County that since 1992 has been managed by the Nature Conservancy of Georgia. So it's just a great story and a huge resource for this area.
Well, as a kid, we'd have Sunday school picnics and that kind of thing up there occasionally. And I just thought it was rocks and plants. And I liked the caves. Back then we could crawl in the caves and all that. And until the Nature Conservancy came in, I did not know there were special plants and animals there that are almost, well, I get some of them were endangered at that time anyway.
Yeah, and of course that was the Nature Conservancy's interest in the rocks. There are a lot of beautiful places in the world, but their motto is saving the world's last great places. So we can find beauty and we can create beauty, but it's kind of rare that you have a combination of beauty and rareness. So this is a rare geological formation, and it's given spawn to some highly unusual plant associations. Back in 1990, earlier than that, 1984, for the first time ever in that crevice area through the rocks, a very rare flowering plant shrub called the Georgia plume, Aleatia racemosa, was discovered that summer. It's usually on sand ridges and it exists only in Georgia. There used to be some Georgia plume right across the South Carolina River, but it was inundated with probably the Thurman Dam. So it's a Georgia plant only. Very rare, but it was discovered among the sandstone outcrops up on Flat Top. And so botanists got word of that, and when you find one special spot, you say, well, what's growing with it? And so here they come, and lots of neat things have come out of that, and got the Nature Conservancy's attention and a lot of community support here in Coffee and surrounding counties. There are a lot of generous contributions to make it happen, and Nature Preserve was created.
It's a beautiful spot.
Isn't it?
And I went on a tour not long after Nature Conservancy with Frankie Snow
Oh, good.
in July, which was not the best choice I could have made, but it was, he explained so much, and there was such a unique look at it because I had never thought about what was there before.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, that's extraordinary, and Frankie's a wonderful person to go into the rocks